time, let me welcome Laura Greer. She's our manager of our logistics for PD, and we'll get started. Welcome.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome everybody. We're so glad you were able to join us today. Again, I am Laura Greer. I will be presenting the slides. We have Deb Hargrove, who is our host, and you are joining us for the September 14th PD Coordinators webinar. Today, our agenda is going to cover updates from the professional development centers, new training, conferences, and statewide events, monthly webinar series announcements, test training announcements, PD portal announcements, and finally, we will have PD coordinator time with Krista. Okay, we're going to get started here with updates from our professional development centers, and Joan is going to be speaking to a career pathways slide.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I am here to tell y'all to save the date for the 2024 Career Pathways Symposium. Y'all are the first group I am getting to announce this to, so I am very excited. We are returning to Corpus Christi on May 20th through 22nd this coming May. So be on the lookout for your emails for more information regarding symposium. Save the date, and we look forward to seeing all of y'all in both Corpus Christi and at the Fall Institute next week in Austin. Thank you.
Thanks, Joan. All right, next up, Ashley Winkle has a couple of slides for the DEPDC that she's going to cover.
Hi, welcome everybody. So this month our tech playground is going to be on September 29th at 12 o'clock p.m. We are doing a deeper dive into book creators. So please encourage teachers to attend, even if they didn't show up, didn't see the tech and tell. The people who have attended really see this as a useful tool for teachers. So we really do encourage them to attend if they can. Again, that's going to be Friday, September 29th at 12 o'clock. I'm trying to move the slides. Sorry, I'm used to doing my own slides. Go ahead, Laura. And then we also have coming up Maximizing Digital Literacy, innovative lesson ideas for instructors. That will be with me doing 2 sessions, September 27th from 2 to 4, and September 30th from 10 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. These sessions are going to be recorded, so they will be available on the portal. They're really going to be focusing on learning how to integrate digital literacy skills into your instruction so that we're not only teaching our students, but we're also teaching them digital literacy skills as we do it. Next. And I just wanted to mention, because AI is pretty much not going away, there's been a lot of opportunities. There is an upcoming National AI PD opportunity tomorrow at 1 o'clock our time. It is going to be done through links. It's ChatGPT and AI. What do practitioners need to know? You will be given a 1-hour certificate. It's going to be kind of a fun one, I think, because it's going to be Rachel Riggs and some other people who are going to kind of end up debating the pros and the cons of the whole thing. That wasn't the original plan, but that's what it is now. So it might be a fun one to attend. And if you attend, let me know how it goes, because I can't attend. And I think that's my last one, maybe. I don't know. Nope.
One more. Oh, 2 more, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say only 3 for me. Come on now. The Distance Education Roadshow, just always reminding you to help your teachers and students get to know the Distance Education Professional Development Center. 3-hour workshop, 1.5-hour PD presentation, but we're also willing to join your staff meeting, class introductions, and if you have needs for additional things, recently we added North Star, getting started with North Star onto our roadshow session. You can always request that. You will need to request that through your PD specialist. And also don't forget your free distance education call center promotional marketing items. We just got a new shipment in of promotional items. So find all your distance education call center marketing needs here. We will drop that link into the chat so you can order it. This is all for free. Now that should be it.
Yes, that's it. Thank you, Ashley. All right, guys, next up we have Anne Marie, who is going to talk about another Links webinar coming up.
Anne Marie, can I interrupt you for just a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashley, there's a question in the chat from Giselle asking about that AI training. It's not in the PD portal calendar of events, but we've sent out an email to the listserv. We can send one out to the PD coordinator listserv as well.
I just put a direct link in the chat.
You did perfect.
Yeah,
Okay,
and we can
thank
send
you.
it out on that as well. But yeah, if you want to go directly to it, there's the link. I meant to share it earlier.
Perfect, thank you.
Sure.
All right. I think I'm going to go now if everything were good. All right, everybody. This is Anne Marie, and I am also excited to share with you another Links opportunity. And this is the Universal Design for Learning modules. And there's going to be a webinar next week, and it is, during the Fall Institute, but I'm hoping that you will get so excited about this that you think about teachers that can attend this. And so what this is going to be is it's going to be introducing the Universal Design for Learning modules that was developed by CAST, the Center for Applied Special Technology. And these modules are going to look at the UDL framework for supporting students that have special learning needs. And CAST is known internationally around the world for their work. And so this is an amazing professional development opportunity. And you can access the Links online modules by creating an account in Links, and it's free. And then you'll be able to access these modules. So specifically, they're going to be looking at the practices and strategies for supporting adults with learning challenges. And I'll go ahead and I'll drop the link, the registration link in the chat pod. And then also I'm going to drop the link for CAST in the chat pod.
I've done that already, Anne Marie.
Oh, you are awesome. Thank you, Deb.
We'll do CAST again.
Awesome. And CAST, you may want to just check it out so you can get an idea of what the UDL principles are. So I hope that teachers take an opportunity to attend this. I got to see kind of the ground floor behind the scenes over a year ago, and they look awesome. So wanted to share that. And I think I have another slide. Yes. And this is another opportunity that does not come around very often. And this is from the Learning Disability Association of America. And this is being provided by the Adult Topics Committee of the Learning Disability Association. And I am on the Adult Topics Committee. And this webinar is titled Learning Evaluations for Adults. And this one will be September 25th. It is an evening training, so 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock our time. And the presenter is Dr. Roxana Samaniego from the University of Arizona Salt Center. And they are also known nationally for their work with students that have disabilities. And this session is gonna focus on what are the benefits and the drawbacks of getting in a learning and evaluation? How do you benefit from a learning evaluation? And again, this is a live webinar, so it won't be recorded. So take advantage of the live opportunity. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. We are going to move forward with announcements regarding our new training, conferences, and statewide events. And we are going to get started with Beth.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's great to see you all online, but we hope to see a bunch of you in person next week. So just a reminder that the TWC AEL Fall Institute will be next week, pre-conference days on the 19th, including a session specifically for you, our PD coordinators, from 1 to 4. And we appreciate all of your input into helping us Krista in particular, and then the rest of the team, to kind of frame the agenda for that meeting by letting us know and sharing what are some of the things that you want to see us cover. And then the regular breakout sessions will be Wednesday through Friday, the 20th through the 22nd. Those breakout sessions will be both in person and streaming. So that part of the conference will be fully hybrid. So you may have some folks that are coming in person or some that are going to be attending online. Registration is closed, but if you wanted to get somebody in at the last minute, you could probably send me an email and I could make it happen. But anyway, we're just looking forward to seeing everybody. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to shoot me an email.
We've got some really fun things planned for those of you who are going to be in person with game night, which will be Wednesday night, and then karaoke night on Thursday. We've got some great keynote speakers who are going to be keynoting, kicking us off on Wednesday morning, and then ending the conference on Friday morning. Another keynote from here in the College Station area. We're just really excited. We've been working really hard, and it's going to be a fun event. And we're hoping that you guys are all going to be in attendance. If not, I hope you can join us online.
Paula, I believe you are next with some Literacy Texas announcements.
Thank you, Laura. And so we have so many that are a little new. I wanted to explain. These are literacy symposiums that are funded by Literacy Texas, and they're regional. So they're all over Texas. Every event is free of charge. We do have one that's online, but we have several that are face-to-face. So I want to encourage you to invite your community-based organizations and your nonprofit AEL programs to join these. And we also want to invite you because it's some great opportunity to get some PD credit. First of all, we've got in October, the Dallas-Fort Worth Literacy Symposium. That's October 28th. Now, the location is usually Arlington, but that hasn't been confirmed, but that'll be a face-to-face event. Then in January, we kick off a new one in El Paso. So we have a Far West Literacy Symposium. It's the first time they've had one of these, and it'll be a 2-day event, Thursday and Friday. Then the South Texas Literacy Symposium is usually in Edinburgh, but they haven't confirmed that location, but it will be face-to-face, and it'll be on a Saturday, February 24th, followed by East Texas Literacy Symposium. That's usually in Longview, and it's face-to-face. It'll be March 2nd, which is a Saturday. Now, the faith-based affiliated programs will have an online event on April 20th. It's on a Saturday. And then Gulf Coast, it's June 7th. It's on a Friday, usually in Pearland, but they've had one last year in Houston. So it'll be one of those locations, but it is for the Houston area, the Gulf Coast area. And then we do have our annual Literacy Texas Conference that will be July 29th through July 31st here in College Station. And it's always fun to see everybody there. Okay, thanks, Laura. That's it for me.
Thank you. And that was a lot of information, Paula. Will you drop your email address in the chat pod just in case anyone has questions?
Great idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Anne Marie.
All right. Let's make sure that you can hear me. Just let me know if I start to go in and out. So this is just a quick reminder that we're calling all instructors and encouraging instructors to join the Texas Adult Education and Literacy Instruction Listserv. Very simple to join. And that is send an email to Jessica Casper DeClements on the TCAL team, and we'll drop her email address in the chat pod. And then when instructors email Jessica, they want to make sure they include their name, their email address, and program affiliation. And very important is the subject line, which is going to be Subscribe Texas AEL Instruction. So Jessica can see that in the subject line. So that's all for now. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you. We are going to take a second here, there we go, and pause to see if there's any questions that need to be addressed.
No questions yet. Take a minute, you guys, think about what we've shared. I know someone asked about that one link session. I've posted some links to some Learning Disabilities of America webpage that Anne Marie was talking about. If you have any questions, please post them here in the chat.
Great, thank you. Moving forward, we are going to take a look at what webinars we have coming up in our monthly webinar series. There we go. And we're going to start with Wendy, who is going to speak to Manager Monday.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. So the next Texas AEL Manager Monday will be held on September 25th. And make note, that is a new date. It was originally scheduled for next Monday, the 18th, but we had to move it for presenter changes, and that is on September 25th now. Same time though, from noon to 1. The topic for this month is engaging employers and cultivating a thriving workplace education program. And our presenter is Anson Green. He is our former state AEL director, but is now with Tyson Foods. So it should be a very interesting session. And we hope to see you there. Next slide. As we move into the coming months, in October on the 16th, we will have navigating the new digital literacy standards to support 21st century instruction. That is presented by Joey Lehrman. And I think Ashley Winkle is going to be there as well, just to kind of help out. And this is where we're going to cover the new digital literacy standards. We had a Teacher Tuesday about this already, but they're going to present it again towards with the audience of management in mind. So we hope to see you in October for that session. And then in November and December, on November 13th and December 11th, we're going to have a 2-part series. And the Career Pathways Professional Development Center is going to be doing sessions on credentials, which I know is a very important topic for all of us in AEL as we try and get those MSGs and get our students to earn their credentials. So those 2 sessions will be in November and December. Next slide. And then for our, just as a reminder, I'm going to put these remaining dates into the chat pod. And if you could mark your calendars and share the information with all of those who may be in your program that would benefit from these sessions, we would love to see you there. And I think that is it for me, Laura.
Yep, that was your last one. Thank you. Krista, you are up next with Teacher Tuesday announcements.
All right, excellent. So the next Teacher Tuesday is going to be brought to you by Mahalia Baldini, our AEL State Director. And she's going to do a state of adult education and literacy in Texas and legislative updates from the most recent session. So it's Texas AEL by the numbers. So make sure you join us and hear and listen to Mahalia. And then our next one will be in November, November 14th, and we're going to welcome Ashley Winkle and her DEPDC staff members, and they are going to talk about the call center and how teachers can use the call center in myriad of ways. So join us on November 14th for the call center.
Great, thank you, Krista. Dr. Olga, you are up next.
Thank you, Laura. So join us on October 18th for Workforce Wednesday, where we have Dr. Mary Helen Pavia Martinez, and she's going to be talking about pathways for adult learners, integrating college-ready instruction. So colleges and various educational institutions, they provide adult learners opportunities to pursue those certificates that lead to further post-secondary degrees. So integrating that college-ready instruction by design provides key elements that fit your local needs. So this session will examine the basic instruction to include alongside your current curriculum that will help your students be better prepared to successfully manage a certificate or degree program. So join us for Workforce Wednesday. Next slide. And these are just the remaining dates for the year. We're working on sessions for the coming year. So again, October 18th, November 15th, and December 13th. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Olga. And finally, we have Anne Marie, who is going to speak to upcoming Tech and Tell sessions.
Thank you, Laura. So we are going to be welcoming back a presenter that we had on Tech and Tell, oh my goodness, over 3 years ago by the name of Shelley Sievers. And she's going to be reacquainting us with a wonderful resource called SERP Institute. And I just real quickly, how many of you, just let me know in the chat pod, thumbs up, thumbs down. How many of you have ever heard of SERP? Has anyone ever heard of SERP? It's the SERP Institute, or what the heck is it about? Does anybody just let me know? Okay. So Sandy, so no, we've got some notes. Thank you. Claudette says yes. Hi, Claudette. Awesome. Okay. So I was just curious. So basically this is a wonderful teacher education website, digital resource repository out of Washington, D.C. And we're going to break this up over 3 months, but the first webinar is going to be October 13th. And it is going to be a 90-minute webinar because she's going to be discussing the literacy resources that can be used for reading and writing. And so I really encourage you to attend this session or have your teachers attend this session. She did a Tech and Tell on this years ago, and it was really well attended then. So we're excited to have Shelley back. So I look forward to having you all register when registration is available. So next slide.
Anne Marie, real quick before we move forward, we have a question in the chat pod about this webinar. Is this appropriate for ESL and ABE?
Good question, Sandy. Thank you so much for asking. Yes, it is. Basically, these resources are actually lesson plans, activities, and critical thinking activities. So they are going to be user-friendly for adult students. Although you're going to see it, marked as K through 12, it's definitely applicable, and it's not immature materials, if that makes sense. So yes. You're welcome. So in November, on November 3rd and December 8th, Shelley will be back again. And in November, it's going to be all about math. And then in December, it's going to be all about social studies and science. So thank you so much. Next slide. And as always, on behalf of all of the webinar hosts, we thank you. Reach out to us with ideas, and we'll. Oh,
Anne Marie, are you there?
Can you hear me? I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did we miss? It's lightning, like it's lightning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're just talking about the slide right now.
Okay, so reach out to us with reach out to us with ideas for the webinar series, and we'll drop our emails in the chat pod.
Very good. Thank you, Anne Marie. We are going to pause here for Q&A, and I know Deb had reached out and says there's a question she would like to share.
Yes, there was a question back on Paula's when she was doing her announcement. Let me go back and find it. Someone asked Paula, so there's not going to be a literacy symposium in West Texas next year?
Oh, okay. Just validate my geography. Are you talking about the Laredo one?
Well, probably the El Paso one, the far west. So we'll
I
have
think
they're
some
talking about
choices.
Lubbock.
Maybe Lubbock.
Lubbock. No, I have not heard about that one. You're correct. No, I have not heard. That's all they have on their website. I can definitely get back to you. Who's asking so I can get back to
Jan
them?
Bartlett.
Okay, Jan. I will ask and send you an email.
Great, thank you. Deb, have there been any other questions that have come in?
No, you asked the one about for Emory.
Perfect. Okay, great. So moving forward, y'all, we have Tracy and Paula, I believe, who are going to be sharing some information about upcoming test training and TOTs.
Right. And I believe it will be me. Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. So we can go to the next slide. This is just like one of those cover slides that has all of the tests that we use in Texas. Okay, so y'all have heard, I know, the rumor, which is true, about the newly approved tests. It's not a rumor anymore, but and I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to make sure that everyone gets the word that the NRS has approved these new tests, the Best Plus 3.0, the Best Literacy 2.0, CASAS STEPS, which is the new ESL version of tests, and CASAS Math Goals. But as for Texas, we won't start using these until July of 2024. And TWC will be walking us and giving us guidance throughout the year for transition and training plans. And the current versions of the tests are approved through use of June 2024. So just keep that in mind. Stay tuned for more information as it becomes available. And if you've got questions, please ask. And yes, Deb is saying our current requests for best order closes tomorrow. Please get your orders in before noon if you have not already. And just keep in mind with those best orders, if you are going to do that, you need to just try to order what you'll use up this year. They won't transfer over for the new best tests at all. So just be cognizant of that. Okay, next slide, please, Laura. Okay, so we do have a couple of TOTs this fall to announce for testing. The first one coming up, and we've gone back to doing face-to-face TOTs. We're excited about that because this really is the best way to do a TOT for assessment. It was so hard to do it virtually. We will in October, beginning of October, do Texas-style CASAS. We are doing a virtual training overview just to kind of handle some training tips and things that we feel like we can do online. And then we're meeting face-to-face in Austin, October 12th and 13th. And registration is available in the PD portal, and PD coordinators PD coordinators need to register staff. We are training on the current version of the testing materials for CASAS. And if anyone goes through this TOT, they will become certified as a Texas-style CASAS trainer. In the spring, we will be doing like a recertification webinar for already currently certified trainers, Texas-style CASAS trainers. And the training really won't change. It's just going to be, we're going to be putting in the STEPS materials and the math goals materials, the new math goals testing. So the training doesn't really change, but that's why we'll be able to do like a recertification webinar for the currently certified trainers. And that would probably be in April of next year that we can do that. So we do encourage you, if you need staff to be trained in Texas-style CASAS, please send them. We want to meet your needs as a program and know that that certification will carry forward, and they'll just, we'll do a recertifying webinar later. Hope that made sense. Okay, next slide, please. So we have the Texas-style Class E online training a trainer event. We've had a few programs ask for this. We developed it. Tiffany Johnson has developed it. We're very excited about it. And so we're encouraging programs that are using TABE Class C online to register for this TOT event. We'll do the same thing with a virtual training overview for online the 24th, and then do face-to-face October 26th and 7th in San Antonio. We're very excited about this. We'll be reaching out to programs that we know are using TABE Class C online. DRC just sent me a list yesterday. So we hope that we've given you, we started announcing this at the beginning of September so that people could make travel plans for this. It's a great training, and Mike Johnson with DRC is coming down to see it because it's just really a good training. Chastity Wright, if you know her, she sat through the pilot and was so excited. She says DRC needs to follow our training model for local training. So I thought that was a huge compliment to Tiffany. And anyway, just please register staff so that we can know how many people to expect. We're excited about this. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I wanted, and again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I want to share, a little bit about what a TOT is. Again, since we've got a couple this spring of these TOTs, it's for someone who has had at least a year of experience using TABE Class C online or in, with CASAS. It's not for someone who's brand new in those training tools, unless your program is just absolutely desperate and you don't have anyone else to pull from. It will make it harder for them. Upon completion of the training of trainer, the participant who attends becomes a certified trainer, and they can train locally, or they might be able to train for us. But the point of these TOTs is to build local capacity for you so that you can have staff that train your own test administrators. Next slide, please. Remember, we do the Texas two-step. If you are a program that does remote testing, test administrators first have to be trained, do the test administrator training, and then do the remote test training, which is in the PD portal. So it's a two-step process. Someone cannot be remote testing if they are not first a test administrator. And next slide. With regard to refreshers on this, for test administrators and remote testing, a refresher is required every 2 years, and you need one for each. So we have a column there for each one. It's not doing the test administrator refresher and that work for remote test training. And the remote test training is in the PD portal for all of our testing tools that we use right now. And so a staff member would listen or review that again this program year in order to have their certification renewed. Not certification, their refresher renewed. Sorry about that. In the PD portal, I just mentioned this, the remote test administration trainings are in there. You can go to the search tab and type in like TABE, for example, and refresher, and it will pull up, like in this example, that TABE 1112 remote test administrator refresher. You could do that with CASAS or Best Plus as well. A refresher is required every 2 years, and as Laura's showing, they are in the PD portal. They have been reversioned in the PD portal for this year, so they're still good to go. The publishers have not chosen to update those, so we're still using them. And okay, oh yes, the new testing guide for this year. Just a reminder that is available on the TCAL website. You go to TCAL and then you go to the TWC website, and it is available there for 23-24. There is a appendix that shows you what has changed from the year before. It's not a lot has changed, but you do want to refer to the current version. Your staff does, and just keep that in mind. And then the next slide shows the approved test training chart. I talk about this a lot. This is what you need to refer to. You see on here about the Texas style CASAS requirements, but this covers all of the testing tools that we use in Texas: Best Plus, Best Literacy, TABE 1112 and TABE Class E. If you have any questions about what training is needed for your staff, this chart is the one to go to and refer to. I'll put the link in the chat because it's just a really important chart. And I
don't
hear
have that link. So if you can put that in the chat,
yeah,
that would
I
be
will. It's just an important, that link kind of comes up. Oh, there. It looks
comes
really
up twice.
weird the
It's
second
crazy.
time it comes in. I think that's a new thing with Zoom. But I'm always surprised when people aren't aware of this chart just out in the field, because it's really important. This is what TDBC requires of us in your programs to be following for approved test training, and anything that is not on this chart is not approved, pretty much. That's the end of the story there. So just be aware of that and share that with your staff as needed, because you want to be in compliance. And I believe that is all of those are all of my slides.
Yep,
Thanks.
that's all. Thank you so much, Tracy. And Deb, I see you have a question for
Yes.
Tracy.
I do. Thank you very much. Tracy, there are some questions about, talking about the best order. So we sent out a best order announcement, and we want you to order the current 2.0 tests, whatever you need between now and this physical
June
year, December.
24.
No, I was told December 31 because they can start ordering in the spring, the new stuff.
Well, right, they can, except they can't start using the new stuff until July
June
1st, until July 1st.
Right. So,
and
okay,
right.
so someone, okay. Well, let's talk about that, because I need to, someone shared with me that they would be able to order new in January or February when they come out. We were going to do a new order then, and to order only through, when we were talking to Cal, I believe, and only order through the end of December. So maybe we can confirm that, and I'll send out a new email.
Okay. Because we can talk about it later, because
we'll
they
talk
can't
about that,
start
guys.
using it until the new testing guide is out for 24-25, and Teams is ready to accept the new scale scores, and so they really won't be able to start using it until July 1st.
Right. Okay, good. So at any event, if you need some now, go ahead and order. And if we need to do a regular order again in January, we can do that as well.
Okay, right. And
we just don't want you to have a whole bunch of tests left over, because I don't believe they're taking them back.
No, they're not. And so they basically need to order what they think they're going to use through June of 2024 of the current versions of BEST.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. And we are going to move forward now to PD portal announcements. And before I move the slide forward, there was a question in the chat pod about whether or not this session is going to be loaded into the portal to see again, and just wanted to reassure everyone that yes, give us a couple of days and it will be loaded into the PD coordinators community of practice. All right, next two slides are actually mine. First, we have our newly published courses, Bridging the Digital Divide in Adult ESL, Workforce Wednesday, Professionalism 101, and then the two Tech and Tells that have been published are Part 1 and Part 2 of Book Creator. So I know Ashley was talking way earlier about I believe it's the Tech Playground that's coming up is Book Creator. If you have anyone who wants to attend but did not get to attend these Tech and Tells live, the good news is that they're already in the portal and they can be requested and viewed. Next, just two quick portal reminders here. So if you have a program-wide due date, so for instance, your staff have to complete goal-driven learning by the end of September. If y'all could give us a heads up at pdportal@tamu.edu, that would be much appreciated. And it's just so we make sure that we are staffed and ready to help folks out and answer their questions We've noticed in the past in situations like that, we tend to get kind of a flood at the end of the month or towards the due date of staff members needing help with those courses. So just shoot us an email, give us a heads up, and we will take it from there in terms of providing that PD portal assistance. And then one question we've had quite a bit these last couple of weeks are from participants who are asking for understanding principles of adult learning. So as a reminder, Understanding Principles of Adult Learning has been retired. It is off living a good life somewhere else, no longer working for us in the portal. And we have replaced it with Teaching Adult Learners. So if you have guidance or anything anywhere that directs your staff to find Understanding Principles of Adult Learning, you might want to update it just to alleviate a little bit of confusion that we have seen. And it's primarily all the same content. It's just been updated, refreshed, renewed, and it is ready to go for everybody to take in the portal. And then we have next up Yoli, who is going to speak about our upcoming active user audit.
Hi, everyone. This is Jolie. The PD portal team conducts an active user audit 2 to 3 times a year. As part of the process, we will send PD coordinators a report of all the active participants in the PD portal that are associated with the program, with their program. So we ask that you review the list and provide feedback on participants who are not longer working with your program or are missing from your list. This process helps our team to keep accounts current and ensure that there are enough open seats for new staff members. The emails will be out the week of the 25th to each program with a report of your current active users. And be sure to review the directions in the email and return your feedbacks to Jessica or me by October 9. Please encourage your staff members to log in the PD portal to stay active. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you for, we appreciate your help.
Great. Thank you so much, Yoli.
Robert, he's asking, will this process be sent, the active user report, Yoli and Laura, will this process be sent only to the core grantees or to all programs?
So if I remember correctly, Robert, you're with an ATX grantee, and please absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. The short answer is it's going to go to the core grantees. The programs, let me see if I can word this right. The grantees that also have ATX grants, that information will be included in their active user report. So I would say that it's possible that a PD coordinator might be reaching out to someone who is managing the ATX grant to confirm those active users.
Thank you, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
We have a question, a comment back on Paula with an update in regards to a regional literacy symposium in the far west Lubbock area that was asked by Jan. I just heard back from Literacy Texas, who said South Plains, which has been in Lubbock for the last years, is taking a break this year. So that answers that question. Hopefully, Jan, you'll be able to go to another area. And then Julie says, when we have a lot of instructors taking adult learners or the required PD, we provide instructors, we send you guys an email to let you know, and that's fantastic. We certainly appreciate that, and I know that Laura and her group do as well.
Yes.
And that's all we've got so far.
I've got a few things to share and talk about this afternoon. So, and quite diverse. So go ahead and go to the first slide. All right. So I know we just finished the PD plan, and I know you just started your program year, but always be thinking about your PD plan follow-up. This year it is going to be due February 15th. And in that light, we are going to be sending you the templates by October 2nd. Your PD specialist will be sending you the template, and I'm going to share my screen very quickly if I can. This is the follow-up plan. All right, so on this template, you will be sent, and part of it will be completed by your PD specialist. The PD specialist takes these first 2 columns, and we fill this in directly from the PD plan that you have sent into us and to TWC. So you will receive this template, and then you will work with your PD specialist to fill in the rest of these columns. Many of you have already had PD this year, so you want to make sure that you get this filled in with the things that you've already have accomplished, and then be thinking about what you're going to be doing in your second semester. So that is the PD follow-up plan. Thank you. All right, so again, you'll get that template by October 2nd. All right, so the second thing I wanted to talk about is you probably got an email from the PD portal if you are a part of the PD portal Connect community of the PD coordinators. That was a lot of words, a lot of PDs. So for our session next week, we want to be able to use the PD portal coordinator COP as a way to introduce ourselves. So what I'd like you to do is, and even if you're not going to be there next week, we want everybody to go into this COP and introduce yourself. And again, I'm going to take the screen away, Laura. Move that. All right. So to get into the coordinators COP is you go to Connect Communities, go to All Communities. I'm going to just push on because I know right where the PD coordinator one is. Most of you will not have as many COPs as you see here. When you click on the PD coordinators, click on topics. And in this topic, you can see I've got a PD coordinator introduction topic. So click on that. And then you can just start replying. So we've got 2 people already, Tiffany Lee and Carly Woods have already put their introduction in there. So we encourage everybody to do this so that we can all kind of get to know each other and get some good information about the PD coordinators in the state. And also, especially our newer people, you can see who's been doing this for a long time or has a similar program as you. So if you need to reach out and get some assistance, this is a support community as well. Stop my share. All right. And go, Laura, thank you, ma'am. All right. So if you have any questions or concerns with that process, please let me know and I will be happy to walk you through it. But please definitely get yourself in there and introduce yourself to the rest of the people. Okay, so the next slide. So I had sent out a survey to the PD coordinators to find out what you wanted to have shared and discussed at next week's pre-conference. And in that survey, there were several questions. And so I decided that these were very important questions, and I wanted to make sure everybody heard this, even if you don't attend next week. So I put these 3 questions on this slide, and So the first one is, how can you combine Teams PD hours to T-Call Portal PD hours to get a correct PD Portal staff hour total? Or is this more trouble than it's worth? Well, it's definitely not more trouble than it's worth. It just can't happen. Unfortunately, Teams and the portal do not talk to each other. So that is one of those processes that as a program, you need to figure out to make sure that you're getting all of the PD into Teams. If it's not in Teams, the TWC and Teams that can't count it for PD. So the PD portal is a place to get your PD, to have your transcript and such, but it all has to be in Teams to count towards each staff member's PD total. And along that line, requirements for an audit. Can a person's transcript from the PD portal be equivalent to the yearly report? So instead of having 20 certificates for an individual, can we print the individual's transcript for the year for documentation? And the answer to that is yes, the transcript will work. All right. And then the last question is, I also think it would be handy if in the title of a training being entered into Teams, that the designation of the training be within the title, the PAL, Lit, Assessment, Other. This makes monitoring a lot easier for me. And the reason why we don't is because of space constraints in the title box. So, and this does come up every once in a while. If you go into the PD portal, you can look up the course and get the category very quickly. You can use the transcript report or available training reports also to find the category designations. So yes, I apologize that we have that extra step, but that is the reason why they're not in the title box. All right. So again, those were 3 very broad questions, but very important questions. So I wanted to make sure everybody got this information at the same time. Do I have any questions or concerns about this?
No, Marie just says she's very happy about the certificates.
Yay, good. All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Krista, if I could make a quick comment about the third question.
Sure.
Every once in a while, there are courses that can count for either PAL or Lit. And I know that from the PD portal side of it, so for the courses that are online and taken on your own time, your own place, that sort of thing, if it counts for PAL and Lit, it will be entered twice, and we will manipulate the title down enough that we can put either PAL or Lit at the end of the title.
Okay.
Other than that, no.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Laura.
And can I clarify something that Laura said? So we're going to clarify each other's stuff.
What did I say?
You said PAL and Lit. It's got to be PAL or Lit.
Yes.
You got to choose one.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
This stuff is so weedy. It's so easy to misspeak. Or not even misspeak, but just, yeah, anyway. So, Akina, I see your hand raised.
I guess not. I asked them if they wanted to ask a question or post or unmute. That might have been an accident. I do want to mention this is not regarding Teams, but Linda Ross just shared some information with me. I just posted it in the chat pod. Just a reminder to all PD coordinators that new best test or any new test series cannot be purchased with this fiscal year funds. Questions regarding purchasing the new test series should be sent to aelcontracts@twc.texas.gov.
Program year.
Program year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Deborah.
All right. And I like what Wayne just put in the chat. if you get lost, reach out to your PD specialist. That's what we're here for, is to support you with any questions and anything that you need help with. All right. And so we got one more slide. I think that will be Wayne.
Yep, Wayne, you're up.
Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Krista. So, as a lot of you know, I did the LEA for the last cohort, and what my project was building a PD toolbox to help with figuring out all these various things that you need to do. So we wanted to try to make a formal training / resource center, and we've got lots of pieces of it there, but we're not real sure what is useful, what you guys need to know, what you want to know. So we put together a little survey, and even if you were just made the PD coordinator yesterday, please fill out this form or fill out this survey so that we can get an idea of what it is that we're doing well, what it is that we're not doing so well, and what it is we've totally missed altogether. And if you've been a PD coordinator since inception, then please feel free to put your comments in there as well, because if you don't tell us what you need, the only thing we can do is guess. And that's all I had to say. You can use the QR code, or there's a URL on the bottom. Either one will work. And I'm going to keep on bugging you guys until more than 3 of you fill it out.
Thank you, Wayne. I know that Deb has put the URL in the chat pod, and we're going to move forward and take the QR code off the screen. Krista?
All right. So thanks for joining us today. We are right at 3 o'clock basically. Next PD coordinator webinar will be October 12th. So we will see you then, and hopefully we'll see a lot of you next week.